So this is Izzy May, and I'm going to show you how I band up her hair. And what's the easiest way for us to do it personally, so she doesn't rub it out. So Izzy likes to rub the front of her top knot out. So what I do with the very first section that I band is I usually band it in pigtails, because it seems to stay in better, and then I only have to fix it every 3 to 4 days, rather than fix it every day, which I ended up doing when we only banded it in one single band. So I combed through all her fur previous. I'm going to make a part where I want the first band to go. I try to keep the sections as close to what I would do when I band her up for show. That way the hair is kind of already trained to go into those places. Make sure your lines are really really sharp and there's no excess hair in them, because it'll keep it from any matting while up in the bands. I like to spray a little bit of conditioner on it and comb it through once more before I actually start putting the bands in. Today we're going to use teal and purple. It's that kind of day. I get my bands from where most of us get our bands from, Color Coordinated Canine. They have every color imaginable, and their bands are really good. I don't have many break or anything like that, and you can get corresponding wraps. If you don't know what wraps are, we'll go through that in the next video. So I usually don't like to do it too tight. Three times all the way around, usually what I do. And I just pull it back a little bit so it's not bulging her eyes. Now I have those two sections banded. I don't usually do 2 all the way down, because I only have a problem with her rubbing out the front of it, and then she ends up being blind. So then I'm going to section it off. Again, like I said, I usually try to go as close as possible to how I would show band her. So the first one is just behind the back corner of her eye. The second one is kind of in the middle of that. And her ear. Make the line all the way across. Spray on this back. Okay, get comfortable. There you go, get comfortable. I usually just roll a towel and put it on her front leg so she can lay her chin on it. So now I'm just going to comb through that and make sure we're good to go. Try to get it as close to the center of her head as possible. If I was banding her for show or spraying her up right now, I'd be making sure she was, completely straight the way she was lying, but she's just going to be home, so she's a little bit to the side. It's not a big deal. Try to keep it as much to the center as I can. And I usually just pull it to make sure it's not too tight. You don't want it too loose that it comes out though, so you know, you want it nice and tight, but not so it's uncomfortable. So my third section, I'm gonna go right in front of the ear. And you can see like her ear kind of just parts that way now because it's so used to being done that way. And it's nice to condition it too before the band goes in. It gives the hair a little bit added protection, even though the bands are quite good at not breaking hair. They're made, you know, they're made to keep your show hair intact and not crack it off. Whereas some bands that are on the market, you will get breakage with them. So. Go. And the last section of the actual top knot is going to go right above her occiput. After that, I'm just going to do sections. Here. It's up to you how far apart you put the sections. I see some people have them really close together and it looks kind of cool. I usually don't have the time to put more than a few in. I usually end up, you know, doing this after hours at work, so when I get home. But sometimes when I'm really in the mood, I'll have a bit of fun with it and play more colors and more bands. And front ones together. Her top knot usually always falls one way. Here you go. You can adjust it a little bit so it's not bringing her eyes up too much. And I'll probably put another couple of bands there in the ends. But that way that usually lasts me about 3 to 4 days.